Still looks very, very confident out there.
Yeah, I think with the standard in the game now, it's difficult to keep replicating what Harriet's done in the last couple of seasons. But she's still always a threat for every tournament, and we've absolutely cursed her on that first break.
Yeah, commentator's curse. Collette will get the first opportunity here. Do you think the fact that I think this is Colette's first match out here in individual play this week? Harriet did have her semi out there. Do you think that's going to have a bearing at all? I mean, you've been out there today yourself. How different did it feel compared to the other tables we have here at the event?
Yeah, it feels very different, but I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think France have been out there a few times in the team events that she's played. I also think Collette is a player that sometimes benefits from a shot clock and not having extra time to kind of overthink what she's doing out there.
Attempt at the loss of turn there. Not quite managed it. Trophy on the line. Plenty of silverware to play for at these championships. And obviously, first and foremost, from an individual perspective, it's the World Championships. But this is a very close second. How special do these titles rank?
Yeah, I think they're the most special. The tour now is obviously phenomenal. It's very difficult to win, but I think when you grow up, any kind of sports, anyone playing a game or any sports person dreams of being world champion, don't they?
Oh, they do.
So this is these are the main events of the year for me.
When you come into the championships, though, is it your sort of mindset on the whole thing as a collective, as in, regardless of the event, it's about winning, or does this one sit differently to you than the World Championships themselves?
In terms of the difference between the Masters and the Worlds?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you always come here wanting to win both, because you just don't want to. Anyone that wins tournaments wants to win every match. But the Worlds has always been more important to me, I think, than is to anyone, because you don't. It's all right saying you're World Masters champion, but people remember a World champion a lot more than a Masters champion, I think.
Excellent pot. Opportunity now to go.
Play a skill shot now.
Yeah, she gave it a little glance as she was walking round. Ooh, sat on that. I thought it was going to drop.
Yeah, so did I. I think Collette did as well.
In playing that, though, with the loss of turn instead of the combination shot, she knows that it's not guaranteed here for Harriet to have any sort of counter clearance. There were problems at both ends of the table. And that missed out. Should give Collette a great chance just to run through this opening frame now.
I saw, obviously, as you mentioned, Harriet's been waiting quite a while to play the match, and I saw her out in the arena supporting Babs, her teammate, and credit for that. And I mean, everyone's different, but if it was me waiting that time, I think I'd have take myself off to my room or just out away from the arena and maybe get away from it a little bit rather than keep being around it.
I think she left before the final few frames, so she did get away before the final few frames of that match. She didn't want to see the climax, just get herself focused. But everybody, I guess, is different in terms of how to prepare yourself for a final.
Yeah.
I think I'd be sort of like you, try and get away and as far away from it as possible.
I do think that the red at the top's obviously going to be her last ball, but I think it's far enough in the pocket just to make it a little bit awkward to get out for the black.
Yeah, no doubt. So the closer she can get to the ball at the top, the easier it will be for her to play that short positional shot.
Yeah. See Sharon Lunn in the crowd supporting Harriet, and I think she's watched almost every ball of the England team games this week, and every time an England player's been at the table, she's been there to support.
That's great to see. That wasn't how I was expecting Collette to try and get on this road, actually. I thought she would play for just up the right-hand side where there's a bigger window.
Yeah, I agree.
Looks like she's on it okay, although they're grimacing like it's slightly tricky.
I mean, I can't imagine she's played this gap, so I think she's got away with one a bit if she's on it, but now looking down the table. Wow.
Wow, that's come off at a very strange line. I think the natural may have been half blocked by the yellow, so she's played that with a trace of side just to straighten it up, and that straightens it up significantly.
Yeah.
So a big chance that for Collette in the opening frame here that she's let go. Fully expect Harriet to fly through these.
Yeah.
Excellent pace control down the table. And 1-0 to Harriet. Always find the early frames quite fascinating. How do players settle in? How do they get themselves going?
Yeah, I think Harriet took an extra few seconds on that black, took a few steps extra. She knew how big that frame was because Collette was in control for the majority of that.
Do you think the fact that Colette's been pretty much on the table non-stop for 2 hours, 2 hours 15 minutes before this final began, it has an effect on how she's feeling right now? You know, pool players are used to playing and then going straight back on, but that was a grueling semi-final that, you know, both players really had to grind out there, and she's had very little time to reset. And you can see her looking a little bit flushed in the arena. I know it's very, very hot in there as well.
Yeah.
But I guess it's one of those that if you get off to a slow start, it can affect you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Colette's played the game for long enough. She'll know how to handle it. She'd have been here in this situation before, but it is a challenge because you kind of through a match and a tough match, and I think it would be nice just to at least have half an hour to yourself, but we all know that's not how it works. You've got to be prepared to just get out there, and she's hit that break incredibly well.
And last time she broke cleared. That was the deciding frame of the semi-finals. Every chance she's going to start the final with a break clearance as well, because these have come out like a dream. One good positional shot now, and it should be fairly much dot to dot.
She's played that really well.
It'd be fantastic for her if she could play on the one at the bottom cushion, just so to leave the one right as the last ball. It's not imperative that she does, but if she hasn't quite got the angle to get to the right hand side of that yellow, she may just drop this in.
I think I'd prefer this way anyway, personally. Again, a matter of preference, but you can come back a little bit of this and leave quite a wide natural angle just to drift up the table.
Plenty of space there.
Yeah. Choosing to use the cushion, but same result.
Got a line wrong, needs a nudge, gets a nudge. And break clearance, all about the break there. Fantastic break, great signs for her. And a break clearance to tie the scores up at 1-1. That'll make her feel an awful lot better. Been a pretty good run through for Collette. She had got off to flying starts in her first couple of matches. Danielle Greasley and Casey Ramford-Norrie 5-0 apiece. Sarah Waite 5-1, Leanne Cragg 5-3, and then that gruelling semi-final against Barbara Taylor that went all the way to a decider 6 frames to 5. But pretty smooth progress up to the semi.
Yeah, and I think from what I've seen, she's played pretty well in the team event also. I know France have a strong team here, and I think they're first or second in the group. Are they ready for the semi-finals? Yeah,
they're looking very strong. Of course, these two could be matching up in the world team final as well. Harriet playing for England, who look very strong. Collette for France. That cut break does look powerful for Harriet. She's hitting them so flush.
Yeah.
Yellow that she's nearest to now is a problem unless it goes to the bottom left. And that's why she wants no part of that clearance.
Which is surprising. I'm not sure I've ever seen Harriet turn a clearance down. The right shot for me, I think, though, because as much as you could have cleared the other yellows, I think it was difficult to get into that yellow from where it was. One thing I would say, though, is Collette is a very, very clever player tactically. At least she was in world rules and in other rule sets. So.
Yeah, she's won major titles in a variety of rule sets. I'm not sure how much experience she's had at international 8-ball rules, but played an awful lot of pool this week. So
yeah.
I'm sure she's got to grips with it. Oh, brilliant pot from Harriet.
So we only turn the clearance down for the first.
Yeah.
Because it couldn't do it twice.
She wanted the reds, not the yellows.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Absolutely.
Well, it was a good opening pot. It needs to be a better pot now.
Yeah.
If this one goes in, then there's a good chance. Problem is, if it doesn't go in, then a good chance could be for Collette. Has she just pulled back for the loss of turn?
Yeah.
Not sure you can hide the white in anywhere. I suppose she could come right the way down to the bottom of the table.
I think, it's the red and the yellow together. If the red doesn't go, I think you can almost attempt the skill shot again with the loss of turn with the white just on the side rail, and you wouldn't be leaving a great deal.
If it was an attempt at a combination, it was a very tough one.
Yeah.
Balls away and side of the pocket.
But nothing easy left for Harriet here.
Excellent opening pot. just about got the angle to nudge the other red open. This is excellent chance all of a sudden. Just about okay as well. She can see the red to the top left. The one that she's just nudged now goes. Brilliant stuff from Harriet. 2-1 in front now. I have to say, I've commentated and watched Harriet a lot over the last 5 years or so. I don't think I've ever seen her cue with as much confidence and getting through the ball as well as she is right now. I think she's feeling as good as she ever has done out there at the moment. I know she works very, very hard on the practice table, and you can really see it out there. Harriet's had a tough run through with a draw as well. Now Riches was her first victory, 5-1, but then a very tough draw against the Aussie Bella DiGiorgio, 5 frames to 3, and then Jolene Coffrey, 5-2, and then we saw her semi-final against Marion Jude, where both players played really well actually, and it was Harriet that edged it 6 frames to 4. She was pegged back well by Marion. Looks a talent from France.
Yeah, I think I'm right in saying that Marion is already a world champion in other codes of the game, and very much looks like a future world champion.
Yeah, no
still
doubt.
Possible for this year, obviously in this rule set. I was talking to her after the game and just said, we were talking about the break, and she said that she feels she needs to practice the break a little bit more.
Cues the ball brilliantly and works
phenomenal.
the cue all round very, very well.
She has that look about her at the table where nothing bothers her either. I feel like
great
she
temperament.
looks very strong mentally, yes.
Yeah, part of a very strong French side.
Yeah. I think what's been nice to see as well, I notice a lot through the matches that the whole of the French squad, not just in the individual categories, but the whole of the squad seem very supportive of each other.
Yeah, you can see pretty much all of the French ladies squad behind Collette in her corner.
Yeah.
Including Marion, who could be forgiven for not wanting to be there, having lost out in the semi-finals.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But again, I was speaking to her afterwards, there was no kind of, she wasn't down on herself at all. She was to have a really good attitude about it. Complimented Harriet.
There she is in the background.
Along next to Emily, who I think had a good run at the latest tour event.
Yeah, no, doing very well. Comes over for all the Ultimate Pool Women's Series events. Don't have to wait long for the next one either. Weekend after we return from Morocco, so next weekend essentially.
Yes. And then you're straight back into every Saturday, every Monday, are you?
Well, straight into from the mini series with the women and the seniors, straight into the Pairs Cup, straight into the Players Championship. There's so much coming up with Ultimate Pool TV.
Yeah, so I think I will obviously come back to the mini series, and then have another event the weekend after, and then I think me and Emma are scheduled to play in the doubles at the end of July. So I've already said I'll be taking all of August off after the
don't blame you.
mental schedule for this month. Looking forward to the doubles. Excited for the draw. They always, for me and Emma, is always look out for wanting to draw some big names. Let's see if we can scare a few of the pros. And I think we have.
Who have you got this year?
I think we have Chris Mellon and Jake McCartney in one pair, and Tommy Lewis, Peter Mullaney, and then the one that really stands out is Curtis Lee and Mark Williams.
Oh yeah, I knew you had one of the snooker players. Yeah. Should be fantastic. Last time Mark played, he was fantastic value out there, and really enjoyed it. And he was a A delight to have him at the venue as well, so looking forward to seeing him play again.
Yeah, I think Emma always brings a big crowd with her as well.
Yeah.
Decent crowd, so I think it should be a fun night.
I have to say, last time Mark played, there was about 300 in. I know it didn't quite
Wow.
come across on the tally, but there was about 300 in
Yeah.
there.
Another frame where Colette's not got the finish but is in complete control.
I think for a second, Harriet thought she'd missed that, but went right in the heart.
Did she want to pot it?
Maybe that's what it was, yeah. I thought she might look for a loss of turn, as she has this time, but disaster by going in off. Anything that Collette can do with the yellow on the left-hand side. I wonder, can she play the plant? If she puts the cue ball flat on the cushion, I know it'd be awkward. She's also looking at dropping it in the middle, which is very delicate as well, but I think the drop in the middle has got to be the better choice out of those two.
This is where I think the rules can still catch you out a little bit while we're still getting used to them, not having the free visit or the second shot to develop it when it gets a bit awkward.
Oh, how about that? That is brilliant. All those options we threw out there, we didn't put the long double across the diagonal.
Oh, can't believe we missed it.
That's very special.
Yeah, and it was all out as well. She didn't play that with any element of safety. She's leaving Harriet a chance if she doesn't get that.
Not quite got the cue ball though. The shot before deserved a chance to get out, but she snookers herself. Not the first time in the match that this has happened. Cost her a frame in the opening frame of the match. Oh, and that's a double disaster.
Yeah.
Cue ball in hand and getting the ball off the cushion. Opens things up here for Harriet, who can put herself on the ball at the bottom and come up the table, or she's going to go the other way and track down the table.
Yeah. I think that shot for Collette, if she was trying to flick off it and maybe put the white at the top of the table, but I think I'd have just been making solid contact, hitting it hard, seeing if anything happened.
Would you be tempted to play the one at the bottom straight away? I'm surprised that Harriet's not going.
Surprises me every time Harriet doesn't go for a
I mean,
finish.
if Harriet puts cue ball in hand and leaves herself three-quarter ball on the one at the bottom, she's got right centre to connect it all together, and everything goes fairly comfortably.
I think it's a good snooker though, and I think Harriet probably is just sensing that Collette may be under it a little bit here with a couple of.
Wants to make sure.
Yeah, 100%.
She would have had to. The ball she's just moved would have been a delicate shot to the corner or the middle, whichever way she wanted to go.
Yeah, I don't think she'll be turning it down if she gets back to the table.
Key thing for Harriet was that when playing that, she did develop that ball.
Yeah.
Couldn't quite get the side on. So cue ball in hand once again for Harriet. Relatively simple with cue ball in hand second time round. Harriet's just going to fly through the finish all in the open. Open up a bit of a lead for the first time. Three frames to one, Harriet now leads. Halfway to the target of 6. I think it was 3-1 last year that she was in front of Barbara Taylor, and without bringing up old news, there was a major distraction in the arena and play had to be halted for 20 minutes or so, and on the return, I think they finished out the frame, which made it 3-2, and then on the return, it was all Barbara Taylor. Spoke to Harriet earlier about that, making a little joke, and she said not even remotely in her memory. No. Doesn't remember last year's final at all.
Blocked out.
Locked out, which is, yeah.
Do you believe her? Did you get the stuff?
Yeah, I think so. She looks quite shocked I brought it up, but maybe that's because I brought it up just before she's about to play in the final. So
that was nice of you.
Yeah. Get to see this cut break again. Flying for Harriet, and it's flying once again. That is very good.
Yeah.
Great chance here.
If you're on the red in the middle, I think these are.
Do you think the red goes in the middle now?
I think if it does, she'd probably have already played it. Or I think I'd be playing that. Clearly didn't if she's played the breakout and it's not gone very well.
Gets the nudge on the yellow, not the red. It's actually maybe not too bad. She might just play safe here. I was about to say it's not too bad because she could go up the table and then play a red from the top off the yellow, but she's decided to pull back and play the loss of turn, but that isn't necessarily the greatest option here because there's a chance on for Collette.
Yeah, I think she's left the plant, has she, from at the bottom of the table.
Just for a second there, when she saw the cue ball coming back up, she probably would have feared the worst of going in off, but it's landed okay.
Yeah.
Suspect Harriet regrets her choice of shot, or at least the execution of the shot now.
Yeah, I don't think after the way she landed it, there was much other option to execution, yeah. Just needs a little bit of attention because the yellow's not entirely over the pocket. You need to be a bit careful how you play this.
Yeah, just a little bit of attention, you said, and that's right. Just on the knuckle. Wasn't hanging over the pocket, made that a difficult shot. I bet she doesn't regret her choice or execution now. This is wide open for 4-1. Little bit shorter pace this time.
cued that one really well.
4-1 now. Steps in and punishes another error from Collette Henrikson. Harriet Haynes looks very sharp. 2 frames away from getting her first Masters title. Reminder that following this match we'll have the men's Masters final. Tom Cousins is in the final following a 9-6 victory over Carl Sutton in the semi-finals. He is waiting for the winner of Declan Brennan and Giuseppe D'Imperio. Currently 5-4 to Giuseppe. Tom Cousins was the big shock when he got knocked out of the World Championships a couple of days ago. Paul Clack with a brilliant performance, one that did hurt Tom.
Yeah, I had to do a double take when I saw that result.
I was
expecting Tom to fly through after he beat Carl, to be completely honest.
Yeah, no disrespect meant to Paul in any way
No,
there,
not
but
at
I
all,
think
no,
you know,
not at all.
Tom came in as a big favourite for the tournament, even with some world-class players here, and it was a surprising to see him lose. But Tom said earlier on, it just really was a flawless performance from Paul Clack.
Yeah. I think Paul had a good weekend on the Saturday event. I can't remember what it's called actually.
The Players' Championship.
Yeah,
he made the final of the group final where he lost out to Greg Batten. And to be fair, he didn't do a huge amount wrong in that group final. Greg played really, really well.
Yeah, and obviously coming into Worlds, and is he playing for the Oz team? I'm sure he's put a fair
captain.
bit of time in for that. So, is Paul based over here while he's playing on the tour?
Yeah, he's brought his whole family over, based them in the Stoke area.
Yeah,
there's a big commitment to travel over and
absolutely fair play. When you see commitment like that, everyone you get any bit of success you get, you fully deserve, don't you? So.
Yeah, and puts the hard work on the practice table as well. So
yeah.
All credit to him. And of course he's still in with a chance. We're at the last 16 stage in the men's side. Quarterfinals in the women's now?
Yeah, Monday for me, for the quarters. I think Collette and Harriet both still in, along with Babs, Marion.
It's shaping up pretty well.
Bella. yeah.
Really good lineup.
I don't think there's been any big shocks yet in terms of seeds going out. I think everyone's still in, anyway.
Yeah, looking forward to that. We'll be covering that on Ultimate Pool TV. That's for a couple of days' time. Tomorrow will be all about the shootout, men's and women's. Today's all about the Masters. 2 titles to hand out tonight, and we're very close to handing out the first one. You can see it there in the background. I feel this is a really important visit to make sure that Collette puts the finishing touches to it, just to stay in there.
Does the white go through that gap? I think this is tough. I think you need a really good shot here to get on the last red.
You just can't risk hitting that yellow.
No,
whichever side of it you go in, just do not hit the yellow.
I think easier to come above it maybe rather than try and play the gap between the red and yellow.
She did play the low gap.
Tough. I thought that was tough.
No reaction from Harriet. She'll be analysing her table and expecting a chance here.
Yeah.
It's not the first time in this match that Colette's found herself in this sort of position where deep into a chance to clear up, come unstuck on the final ball. Snook herself a couple of times doing it. This time she can see it, but can she find a way?
I think she's just going to lay up. Yeah.
Another cut pot from Harriet. She's looking in left centre. I don't think she needs to if it's tight or too acute, and she doesn't like the angle, just simply because it does go bottom left, but looks like she likes it. I think Colette's going to be very disappointed when she looks back at the match so far. It just hasn't really got going. maybe to do with the fact that she played the semi-final and had to sort of come straight into this, and it was a tough semi. I think she could have benefited from a little bit of a break.
Yeah. I think it can work the other way though. I think some players, they come off a big result, especially having broke the decider, and you're buzzing and you just think, yeah, I want to carry on.
It's also worth pointing out that both semis went on at roughly the same time. I think there was about 15 minutes between them. It just Harriet won very quickly, and Colette's semi was a long, drawn-out affair.
Yeah.
Purposely left it short of the straight. Didn't want to reach straight.
You can see Collette shaking her head there. She knows she's had a couple of chances that she would normally take in this match.
Yeah, Harriet's now one frame away. And I think that's always the disappointing thing. You can sort of take it when your opponents are playing well against you and not giving you too much. But when you're the one making the mistakes, that's what you remember. That's what sticks in your mind.
Yeah. I mean, in Colette's position now, you really do just have to think, well, I'm getting the chances. I just need to remember how I've been playing all week to get here and just keep fighting.
Of course, you found yourself in a very similar position in the quarterfinals earlier on today, and you were able to find a finish when you were struggling a little bit out there, and then you left the arena, came back, and you actually played an awful lot better once you sort of almost... is that what you were saying? Just remind yourself, actually, I'm still in this, I'm still playing well.
Yeah, I think I really struggled to get going out there today. I don't know why I felt so flat at the beginning of the match, but... yeah, I mean, the alternative of just keep fighting and keep trying to do what you're doing is giving up, isn't it? And there's never any good going to come from that. So
quite right.
You can only keep going, keep fighting, and keep trying to do the right things. And like we said, Collette has had the chances here.
It's another brilliant cut break from Harriet. Good split, just a slight problem here and there, depending on which way she wants to go.
Yeah, can you go straight into the difficult yellow first shot? She's tried.
Cushion first would have helped.
Yeah, I think you had to hit that a bit harder, just get any contact and...
Yeah, I don't think she would have been able to get to the cushion, so yeah, hit it harder, go straight into it. And
yeah.
So now it is a big problem. So just turns the table over to you, Collette.
Yeah.
Wasn't really much of a safety. It was almost a bit of a nothing shot in the end. They said, okay. She's got an opportunity here, top left, to fly into the red and yellow together if she wants to.
Yeah, depending on how tough this red is, though. So just going to wait. Bit of a chance here for Collette if she can snip this ball in first shot.
She'll keep fighting. Keep trying. She's starting to become favourite for this frame, even though Harriet's at the table. Numbers advantage are very much on Colette's side. Maybe time to go?
For me, yes, definitely. not sure that would have been my first shot, but we
Yeah.
all see the game a little bit differently.
I was thinking red to right centre to get the angle you want on the one at the top to then go into the problem.
I mean, you can do that now. Again, I just didn't. Well, she's gone straight after it. Good shot.
Pulls up, it's okay. That's a little bit unlucky. She's still got a chance though. She's got the one to left centre and with a natural to get behind those two.
Yeah, I think this is okay. Yeah, perfect.
Just about okay. Could do we just getting through that one a little bit more.
That almost felt a little bit half-hearted attempt at the pot, almost accepting the red over the bag if you didn't get it.
Yeah, bit of a stretch as well. Yeah. I kind of got that same sense. Still not easy here for Harriet.
No. That's thinner than ideal also on the yellow. I don't think you can avoid the red now. Is she looking for the loss of turn?
It would be a big shot.
I think as much as Harriet is away ahead and playing well, she will want to get this match over with as quickly as possible. You don't want to give Collette any sense of hope of a comeback. It's a great shot.
A lot going on there for Harriet. She kind of looked at a few different things there that could have gone in her favour and kind of worked it out, and that was really well executed in the end. Really putting the pressure on Collette now, back full against the wall. Has to make this and sneak that 8-ball in. And Harriet Haynes, oh, hang on a second. Red's not going to go in. I think Collette fears the worst. Harriet Haynes now 2 balls away from her first Masters title.
Strange choice to move it for you?
Yeah, I thought just go past it, but it's worked out very well.
Yeah.
And Harriet Haynes is the champion. A brilliant performance from Harriet. Cued like a dream, took her chances, punished the mistakes. She fell 1 short last year. This time she gets her hands on the title and the trophy.
All right, welcome inside the arena for the presentations for the WPF World Masters Championship. What a fantastic tournament it has been. It's been a very, very busy day for the ladies today. First off in the arena, let's have a huge round of applause for our 2 finalists, Collette Henrikson and Harriet Haynes. A super final, and it took a super run to the final for Collette Henrikson. She's been absolutely brilliant all tournament long. Let's hear it for the runner-up, Collette Henrikson. Collette, congratulations on reaching a World Masters final. What are your immediate emotions after this one?
Played okay today, but the final, I don't really know what happened. I just kept missing chance after chance after chance. And against Harriet, you can't do that.
You absolutely can't. I mean, just how brilliant was she in the end? It just became, that was the story in the end.
Yeah, she was brilliant. She's always brilliant, but it also helps when I make it easier for her by keep missing. But she deserved it. She played awesome, and I didn't really turn up.
You've still got plenty of time left in this tournament, of course. We've got the team, we've got the shootout, we've got the singles as well. Looking forward to the rest of the week?
Yeah. I just forget about tonight and see what we can do in the team. Hopefully we can put some good results together and do well.
Best of luck, Collette. Well played. Collette Henrikson, everyone. Well, for Harriet Haynes, she was the finalist last year and the runner-up. She knows how that feels. She's come back this year in Agadir, Morocco, and has taken down the title. Let's hear it for your Masters champion, Harriet Haynes. A year later than you wanted, but I can finally call you a Masters champion.
Yeah, good things come to those who wait, right? Again, Collette, fantastic all day long. You know, it was a long, long day for yourself. So, yeah, fair play to you, and yeah, amazing.
A great performance in the final. The finals sometimes, and semi-finals as well, notoriously difficult to win and play well in. You must be so pleased with how you've played it in both matches there.
Yeah, the semi-final probably more so. The final was a bit bitty as well, but you know, just happy to get over the line and just get the result. Really, I mean, I think I missed I was second chances most frames. So yeah, but you know, if you're playing like three visit pool, it's not so bad, is it? So I'm happy, really.
What does this title mean to you? You've won a lot, obviously. What does this mean to you?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, you know, there's 5 titles up here for grabs, and this is the first one on offer. And then the most important thing is the team, obviously. We've got the team shootout tomorrow. Really looking forward to that, and the team main on Tuesday. But this is just, you know, this is good. I'll just put it to bed right now and then focus on tomorrow and on Tuesday. But yeah.
Well, a fantastic moment. It could be the start of a wonderful week for you, Harriet. Wish you all the very best of that. But enjoy the moment for the time being. Going to bring in the tournament director, Neil Toms, to make the presentations. Your 2023 World Masters Champion, Harriet Haynes.